Welcome to the Cortex Learning Blog. This is tutorial 8 of 9, CESA 2 Input Basics, and we're continuing on with the input of a system that we started a few tutorials ago. In this particular one, I want to explain to you and show you how to duplicate piping elements. What we want to do is to take advantage of the fact that the model that we've input so far has some symmetry. So we have a block of elements from the anchor that we've just input in the previous tutorial, all the way through to the intersection. On the other side of the intersection, the piping is a mirror image of the stuff that we've already input. What I want to do now is to show you how to duplicate that so you can save time and energy and create more accurate models by not making mistakes as you go. So first thing we need to do is to select the elements that we want to duplicate. In this case we want to duplicate all of them. There are two ways of doing this. First way is to use the group selection tool. So we click the group selection icon and click and drag the mouse, release it, and all of our elements are selected. There's an alternative which I find quite useful, and that is to use the element list. CESA 2 has a number of lists available to it, and the one I'm interested in at the moment is elements. So if I click that, then CESA 2 will display the input data in a different form. It's a spreadsheet form, and we can tear this spreadsheet off. We can move it around the input screen and put it into a convenient location. We can expand it and do everything that you might normally expect with the spreadsheet. Notice that the way this is organized is that we have each of the elements is on its own separate line rather than a separate page in the normal input screen. So we have elements 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, etc., all on their own separate lines. Notice that some of the cells are red and some are grey. So the ones that are red are the ones that we've manually input. The ones that are grey are the ones that have been propagated forward. So if we change one value, it will propagate forward, as long as we've got that configuration option turned on in the CESA 2 configuration file. Let me just change this one back to what it used to be. I can type in S, and CESA 2 will look up the data table and find the relevant thickness. And let's just park this back in a more convenient location. And I'll select now using the click and hold the whole of these elements. Now what I want to do is to duplicate them. If I click the duplicate icon, a dialog pops up that asks me how I want to duplicate these. I can make the new set of elements identical to the old ones, or the selected ones, or I can mirror them in any one of 3 different planes. I can also create copies of these at the end of the current block in the list input, or at the after the elements 60 to 50. I've got a number of options there. One of the important things to look at here is the node increment. If I leave the node increment at 0, it's going to create a second lot of elements with identical node numbers to the first lot. We don't want that. To save confusion, with the elements, we need to increment those by a suitable number. In this case, the largest node inside the block is 70, so let's add 70 to every node number. Then click OK, and notice that the piping system has been duplicated, but it looks a little ugly. Now, the question is, why is this so? Well, CESA 2 creates elements that are from and assigns the global coordinates of 0 to the ones that we first input. So what it's done here is that the duplicate set of piping elements have been put at node number and the global coordinates of 0, 0. To what we really need to do is connect node number 140 to node number 70 in reality. So what we need to do then is simply go into our input spreadsheet, move to the last element and change the number 140 to 70. Notice that as soon as we've done that, we've actually connected node number 130 here with node number 70. And we've eliminated the previous number 140 that C2 allocated for us. We'll now move on to finishing off the model.